Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Dr. Kennedy Podcast. The Dr. Kennedy Podcast is sponsored by the Daniels Foundation for Impact Investment and Development. That's the Daniels Foundation for Impact Investments and Development. And you support the foundation at daniels-foundation.org. And folks, I can't tell you how happy I am to do. This is probably gonna be my favorite interview of all. My best friend, Larry Hayden. Larry, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. How you?
Doing wonderful, man. I'm here in Georgia this time and doing a little fishing. And I hear you got a snowstorm up there in Connecticut. So how you dealing with the snowstorm?
Yeah, man. We getting 18 inches, so it ain't too good right now.
I see you buckled down, man. You like, oh my God, man. So I don't know what to tell you, man. You got to kind of just get the snow shovel out. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Well, I can say the only good thing about a snowstorm is that's good snuggling weather. You find you a little bitty and snuggle down, and that's about the only thing you can.
That's about it. If you're home
like,
to snuggle,
they're like, okay, you can come over.
Yeah.
You can snowstorm. You're like, oh, I'm out here in the snow. Okay, you can come over.
Yeah. That was 40 years ago.
Yes, 40 years ago. So folks out there, this is my running partner of all time, Larry Hayden, Eastern Connecticut legend. So we're going to get into a little bit of that. So Larry, first, thanks for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it. I know you're busy and you got a lot of stuff going on. So why don't you tell the folks about, where you come from, what your, background is in terms of coming from Mississippi to Willimantic, some of that stuff there. What you want to share with us? What's your upbringing in terms of high school, elementary school, that kind of stuff?
Well, I left Mississippi when I was 10 years old. My mother migrated up in Connecticut and came up here and, went to middle school. It was a life-changing thing because, we weren't used to all of the white people up here, and for the first 3 months, my mother didn't even let me go out to play with any white people. This dude, my best friend, he ended up being white, Mark. He used to come down, see me outside, come down, say, hey, you want to play? And my mother, being from the South, would never let me go play with him.
Right.
And I said, no, I can't go play, because it was totally different down there. I was down there when, we had separate swimming pools and stuff. We had to swim on one side and the white swim on the other side. Mm-hmm. And it took a while before my mother, trusted him. And, after about 3 or 4 months.
Slow you down for a second. So you tell me that back in Mississippi, you actually was in the swimming pool. There was whites on one side and blacks on the other side. I can't even imagine this.
Exactly.
Wow.
It was like in the 60s. Yeah.
Because that's, I'm trying to, we're trying to, one of the reasons for this project is kind of give folks where we came from and all we experienced. And you actually experienced that. So how did that shape your mindset? Like you kind of saying that coming to Connecticut had an impact on you, but does it still stick with you today? That kind of thinking, where you came from and all that?
No, not really, but it's still in my mind. I don't forget it,
Right.
I mean, because we had down there, it was a couple of white kids that we used to play with, but their parents didn't allow it, and they used to tell them, come in the house, stop playing with them niggas.
Right. Wow.
And this used to come from the parents, but the kids was okay. And another experience, we used to have down there, if we walked on the wrong side of the street where the white people live, we would get chased back to our part of the town, mm-hmm. stuff like that. But when I came up here, it was a culture shock, actually. It was no blacks. It was no blacks in Willimantic when we came up here. Hardly any. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when I went to high school, I wasn't around blacks. I was the only black in my class to graduate in 77.
Right.
You know, a couple Puerto Ricans.
You was the only black to graduate in your class?
I was the only black to graduate in my class. There was no blacks.
Wow. Well, you had a heck of an experience.
Yeah, when I was growing up, now it's totally different. You know, blacks and ran them out, and these Mexicans, and they run the white people out now.
Right.
You know, Willimantic is more diverse now than it ever has been.
Yeah. So what do you think about diversity? You think we lost something when we came to divorce? Because when everything is all black, we kind of. I know you must have saw some great Mississippi towns being all black, probably some great black business people, black farmers, that kind of stuff. You think we lost something when we went to integration? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we did. You know, like I've seen a lot of blacks, not just down south, other places where they had a lot going on for themselves. And like for instance, when I was in Detroit years ago, I lived for a year. All the blacks were selling their stores to these Indians and stuff, and I think that hurt the black community. You know, them selling off their stuff instead of investing more into it.
Right.
Letting other people, and the thing is, um, we as blacks, I mean, to me, I think we can't get as much stuff easier than other cultures do.
Right.
Like say a black owned business, try to go get a loan. I don't, I think other cultures get it much quicker than we do.
Yeah, that's supported by.
I think that's a problem, and stuff. And as far in culture wise, up here, I met a lot of nice, friendly, white people.
Yeah, you like the mayor. Like it's got to be kind of like a. We kind of talk about living in two worlds. You probably the poster child for that because we can't see your face in the video. You got to make sure you're in the camera in the face. But one thing that I've been talking about is that as black men, we forced to live in two worlds because you got to deal with the white culture, but you also got to deal with the black culture. And you probably the poster child for that because, like you said, you was the only black guy in your high school class. And then if you want to be something, you definitely have to interact with black business people, white business people, and then you have to go home to a black world. So
Exactly.
How do we teach young children that how we teach young black men that may be interfacing in this for the first time? Because the world's not going to change overnight. There's going to be a process. We ain't just going to go from, where we are now to a perfect world. So how we teach young black men to deal with this double identity that they're going to have?
Well, then they have to go with the flow. And what I mean about that, be yourself. Like I had this experience one time up here, where I was qualified to get this job, and because I was black, because me and this white friend of mine, we went up together, but we didn't go in together. I went in, I was qualified to get the job because she was white and sort of pretty. She got it, but she wasn't qualified.
Wow. Isn't that interesting?
Exactly. But then she told the guy that she didn't want it because she wasn't qualified, that I was more qualified than her. And that wasn't right.
Wow. That's an eye opener, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's
and
amazing.
then I hear some of these white people say there's no, systemic racism. Where the hell has they been all their life?
Wow, thank you for sharing that story, man. That's amazing. It don't get no clearer than that, do it?
No.
How'd you feel? Say how'd you feel after that? After you felt, after you go through something like that, what's it make you feel like?
I knew it. I knew it because back in I don't know if you was up here during this time when they had that Klan rally.
Yeah, I was up there in Portland. Yeah, I was up there. They had the Klan rally. I remember you talking about. I remember.
Oh, okay. You know what shocked me during the time was me and Levan went to it, and as they was pulling out, I seen people that I went to high school with.
You went to the
That
Klan
they,
rally. You went to the Klan rally. You went to the Klan.
yeah, we went up there to see what was happening.
Get out of here, man. You ain't
Yeah,
going
we was
there,
standing right on the road with a lot of other people, you know, and I wanted to see, you know, who was coming in and out of there. And I seen people, you know, always, you know, up in my face, undercover.
Oh yeah.
You know,
You'd be surprised who's at the Klan rally, huh?
exactly. And I found out a lot of friends, so-called friends I went to high school with, was in that rally.
Yeah.
But they, you know, and a couple of them was on the basketball team.
Yeah, that's something, man. It's like it's hard, you know. I have feel for you, man, because I never had to experience something like that. Because I went to all black high school, and I went to all black town. We had a black man, black police officer. It was like Nirvana. It was like such a great experience, and so to hear what you went.
Yeah, but I went through Kenny. You don't know. I went through hell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that
in high school? Okay, I'm gonna lay it down to you like this. You know, I was a decent basketball player.
we're gonna get to that? You know that we're gonna talk about your basketball career. I ain't gonna let you get off the hook on that.
Oh, okay, but I'll tell you the stories that I went through in high school. You know, when we get to that and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I ever talked to you about that, but
that's the thing I'm talking about is I feel for you, man, because I'm thinking back to my high school and how great it was, and the friendships I had with I have like 10 black guys I went to high school, I went to kindergarten with. I'm still friends with today.
Yeah, and see, that's what I missed.
And I'm saying that's what I'm getting at is that you don't have that. That's I feel sorry because yeah, something. You knew Joe, you knew Hurt, you knew Eric, you knew some of them, and I know some, like I know Levan, but I know that as great as guys you are, if you had the same opportunities I had, you'd have been great friends with those guys too. And it's sad that just because of where you're born or who you're born to, that these things have an impact on your life, and it just impacts your whole life. It's crazy.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
And like you said, you went through hell, and that's part of the price of racism is that you get into these situations where I'm just going to speak for you. Tell me if I speak it out of line, but and that's why I'm doing this is that people need to know that just because your skin color, just think of it, just because your skin color, you've been shunted to the side.
Yep, and it's still happening to today. It's still happening.
Yeah, it's still happening. And just think of all the young black men out there now that is developing complexes and might not be as self-assured or as confident, and even though they're as talented as anybody else, but
yeah, they don't get that opportunity that some get.
You might not be as aggressive as you might be in the opportunity because you feel that might not be accepted.
Yeah, exactly.
And so because I know how smart you are. One of the things that I kind of tell people is that Larry probably the smartest guy I ever met, and I got a PhD. I said he's so smart because I see you playing cards, and I said that the only thing they didn't do, he just ain't had the opportunity. And that's a sad thing, man. That's the saddest thing is that saying that if you had the same opportunity that I could have been, you could have been a doctor, you could have been whatever, and just because of your circumstances, I mean, you had your daughter, you did the right thing, and you did all the things. So I will say that I have so much respect for you, man. You don't know, I had so much respect for you. And I think you know this, that even though I was doing all the education, it didn't really mean that much to me. I'm probably the most down-to-earth person there is in terms of just basically accepting people for who they is, and that it don't matter what the papers say. If you don't have a good heart, it don't matter. And you got
Exactly.
you probably got the biggest heart I know, man. So I want to appreciate you for that. Just to say thank you,
Yep.
friend. You know, and I want you to know that I know how smart you are now, even though you might have been denied all those opportunities and all that, that you still did the right thing. And in the end, you still probably as happy as any of us because you ain't miss out on nothing because you got a good woman, you got a good life, you had a good thing. So don't feel like you lost anything. You just took a different path. We all end up
Eh,
we all end up in the same place. You know, you
eh,
might want to say that's the thing. We all gonna die. We all gonna do that, but we all take different paths, but we all end up in the same place. So that should give you some consolation.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
And so a lot of people might go, and that's why I look at all these guys, they got big boats and all that, and you know, it don't really mean that much because you can have the biggest boat, you got the biggest house, but if you ain't happy and you don't have peace of mind, then you didn't really gain anything, even though you might have more money,
Exactly.
more knowledge. I know, you got your wife, your beautiful wife, and I'm just so proud of you, man. You don't know what it means that you achieved all the things that you've done. So I want you to know that.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
And I'm content. And I'm content with myself.
Well, yeah. Let's get into some of your college stuff because we can talk about what you went through forever because that's a book right there in terms of the stuff that you went through. But I want folks to know that you're probably the all-time greatest all-time college basketball player in Connecticut basketball history. They call you Larry Jump Shot Hayden. So tell us a little, let's get on the light side. Let's talk about a little about your basketball career and who did you play against in high school and about all-state Connecticut basketball. Who's some of the basketball players you played against? Because we want to talk about Tony Hansen, the UConn basketball. But I give you free reign first. Talk about a little bit about what you did in high school and who you played against and stuff like that.
Well, I played against. I don't know. A lot of people might not know him. Because this guy called Wes Matthews.
Yeah,
His son.
You played against Wes?
Wes was a beast.
You played against Wes Matthews?
Yeah, man. Wes was no. Wes. I was an all-state. Me and Wes was first team all-state.
You and Wes Matthews first team all-state. Wow.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And stuff. And Wes was a hell of a player. He went on to play in the NBA for a number of years with the Lakers, and stuff. Corny Thompson. He was after me.
Yeah.
Corny Thompson.
I know that name. Yep, Corny. Yep. We talk about some. So you was at that level of Corny Thompson, Wes Matthews, and all them kind of guys.
Exactly.
Wow, that's pretty impressive, man. Yeah, and then you went on to Eastern Connecticut.
Yeah, went on to get into that. Yeah, Eastern was a D3 school, which me and this guy Duffy Jernigan shouldn't have been playing there because, like I said, I was held back by my racist coach.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Which I don't know if I ever told you the story where I was getting letters from. I had got a letter from UNLV.
Wow.
Jerry Tarkanian when Sidney Green and Reggie Theus was on the team.
Yep.
Yeah, I got letters, but my coach was hiding all my letters.
How your coach would hide your letters?
He was hiding all my letters that I was getting from these major colleges because he didn't want me, because his family was one of the biggest stars at that school back then, the Switching Codes.
Okay.
And these white boys, matter of fact, that was playing with me, came to me one day and told me that he didn't want me breaking his brother's single season record. That's why he would take me out during the game. Like, say I will have like 30 something at the end of the third quarter.
You have 30-something points.
And he would take me out because the school record was 44.
Wow.
And I didn't know that. And so they rigged the game one night. We was playing this team that we knew we was gonna beat, and I ended up tying his brother's racket. I walked off the court because we was blowing him out, and he didn't even shake my hand.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
In my junior year, I was picked as one of the top juniors in the state of Connecticut, and we had this all-star game, and this white dude that went to Wyndham came and said, Larry, I don't know if you can sue them or whatever, but they took you off of that team. Man, my coaches didn't even tell me. We were supposed to play at the Civic Center before Dr. J and them had like an all-star game there. And that would have been nice exposure.
Yeah, that would give you the go to the bigger schools, So
exactly.
So you think you could have played at the level UNLV? You think you could have played Division I basketball?
Easily, my opinion, yes.
Yeah, you was a good player.
So, I think I could.
I'm gonna get a little bit introspective on me now. So, what kind of basketball player was I? Tell the folks about Kenny D.
Kenny D, as a basketball player, was a hell of a player. Hell of a player. That's why I said. That's why I wanted to play with someone like you guys.
Yeah.
An all black school, or with some brothers, because I know you brought it every night, and I can imagine the team that you played with, brothers bringing it every night like that. That's what I needed.
Yeah. Well, tell the folks about some of the stuff what you see. Tell them about my game. What kind of game did I have? Cause I want to know myself. I don't remember. I'm old now. I'm 60. What could I do offensively? Could I shoot?
You know damn well you can shoot. Don't even play yourself. Don't even play.
Did I have some moves?
Don't even play. Okay, I'm gonna just ask Bill Brandon.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I love Bill. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. No, you can't.
You had an all.
I love Bill too much.
You had an all-around game. You play D. You stick the jumper D.
Yeah.
You could drive and everything. You had the all-around game. There ain't too many players that can shoot and want to play defense too.
Right. Yeah.
See, you was one of them players that could shoot and D your brother up too.
Right.
You don't see too many of them around.
Yeah, we had some fun.
Damn.
Larry and I we played all the summer leagues in Connecticut. We used to go up in Massachusetts, Springfield, and bust them boys up in Springfield. Like, where these guys come from? We used to go to Springfield, Mass, and bust them boys.
Yep.
Folks don't know the deal, man. We had some fun back then. That was nice. Yeah.
Oh man, those was the days.
Oh man, that's crazy. So talk about some things that you ran into Eastern in terms of, what was going on, because Eastern is a big school now, it's changed a lot.
Oh, it's done changed a lot. Well, I only stayed at Eastern, unfortunately for a year. Then I had my baby, Denise. And I said, then I ended up getting that job at UCONN. And I said, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to make some money, then I'm going to go back, which was my mistake. I never went back to finish.
Right.
I ended up staying at UCONN, making money, taking care of my baby. And I regret, that's the only thing I regret, not going back to school.
Right, hold on.
To finish up and stuff. But
while I'm going there, I'm doing this thing here. I got to go through and do this thing. Go ahead, keep talking, man. While I'm doing this thing, I got to upgrade and
yeah, that's the only regret I have, not going back to school and getting my degree.
Right. Well,
and stuff. But Eastern, and I liked it. Eastern, met a lot of people. There was a lot of blacks there. At Eastern.
Right.
Like I said, Eastern during that time, D3 school, that squad that we had 5 all-staters on that squad, on that D3 squad. Duffy Jernigan. I don't know if you remember Duffy.
Yeah, I remember the name.
Charles Jernigan. God bless his soul. He passed of COVID. This past summer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was a beast. I think we would have given UConn a run for their money with that squad.
That's saying a lot, Larry.
Luke Kennedy, Morris McLeod. We had Leon. We had height. And we had some shooters.
Yeah.
And UConn had Tony. Tony is there, which I say to this day is the best player that came out of UConn to me. And that's playing against Ray Allen and all of them guys, Scotty Burrell.
I know, Larry, but you're making a hell of a statement, and you're gonna have to back that up. We can't let you go with that.
Well, that's my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I know what you're saying, but folks, folks gonna get on me if I don't come at you. Say, all right, now,
Exactly. They say, oh, Ray Allen, he was better than Ray Allen. Yes, I'll say that. Take the 3-pointer away, and then what?
I know, but
that's what I'm saying. Look what Tony did his senior year, 27 and 10.
Right, but this is the point, Larry.
Without the 3-pointer.
And we're gonna talk about Tony. I won't come back to him because that was our boy. We was like, that was our man. Because you got to say, okay, it's like this. You got Tony. Tony's passed away, bless his soul, right?
Yep.
But just one of them things where at that time, what we saying is, in terms of basketball quality, that's what we talk about. Basketball quality is like people say Tony might have been the best player ever in UConn history. I don't know if you agree or not.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. To me, not because he was a friend. I mean, Ray Allen was my friend too. And I played against all those guys, Ray Allen, Scotty Burrell, when I worked up there.
Yeah, but it's like this, Larry. You saying that you guys are better than them, or you can compete with them, which might be true. It might be true. It might be as good as them or could compete with them, but they was at a whole nother level. Even compared to where I was at, because I played against UConn every year, and I gotta give them respect because they was that good. They was competing in the Big East and so forth. And it was just it was like a whole nother level. And like somebody was telling me the other day, we got to give Tony respect because he made UConn possible to basically go to the Big East. I don't know if you agree or not.
Oh, exactly. So,
it's
Coney Thompson.
I don't, I'm not really a great UConn fan, but I got to give UConn respect because Dave Gavitt put together the Big East. Tony kind of led UConn to the promised land. The Yankee Conference kept them relevant. And, UConn was talking about football at that time, but it wasn't really a football school. And basketball became king because of Tony Hansen.
Yep.
And so you can talk about Bobby Doolin and Joey Walton and everybody else, but they really don't matter because without Tony, because somebody told me that they said that Tony Hansen had 200 offers coming out of high school.
Yep.
And did he play at Willimantic? Where did Tony go to high school?
He went to Waterbury, Kennedy High.
Went to Waterbury, out of Waterbury. And so, that's pretty special, man. Just think about what he did, that's pretty special. And let's go back to let's talk about a little bit of UConn basketball now. So what's our boy, I forget his name, bow-legged, froggy-looking guy, your boy, what's his name? You know what I'm talking about. Little guard.
Who, John?
Yeah, John. What's John's last name?
Gwynn.
John Gwynn. What John doing these days?
He's a probation officer in Middletown.
John Gwynn. John was a good player. Where John go to high school?
DeMatha.
In DC?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story, a little quick tour. Now I'm 10 years older than John, and how I met John is I was working up there during the time, and the year that he came to UConn, he couldn't play that year because of his academics or something, and I got him and took him down to Willimantic, and we played in the league and stuff, and played intramurals at UCONN and stuff, and I started to play him one-on-one, and I'm 10 years older than John, and he used to just, I said, damn, how's this he shooting like this and beat me? And I figured it out. I started whooping his ass because because John could not go right.
I could go right.
He couldn't go right, and he's right-handed.
Right? I know he's right-handed. He couldn't go right.
Right-handed, but his left was his strongest part.
Right? That's funny, lad.
I used to beat him, and I was 10 years older than him.
Uh-huh.
And he's a major college ball player.
I know. That's why he told me you used to bust John Gwynn's ass.
Yep. And I told him after he graduated, I said, how did they not scout you, John, that you could not go right? They got all these programs and stuff, and they scouts and stuff. They didn't figure that out the 3 years that you was playing that you could go right.
Right? Isn't that funny?
I said, wow, that's amazing.
Wow. That's funny, lad. You funny, man. You killing me, man. Oh boy.
And but the best UConn, while I was there playing, against those guys, Ray had to be the best.
Oh yeah.
And I hate to say this, and the worst that I played against, was probably Tate George.
Tate George, yeah, that's my boy from North.
No, but how did Tate make the pros that year? How? Because of that shot he hit against Clemson?
Yeah, because he made the shot. That's what, of course it was. What else would it be? It only take one thing to. It's all about perception and marketing, man. You don't have to really do anything, but and let's not take anything away from Tate because Tate had size.
He had size.
When you're a 6'6" point guard, they're gonna give you a shot because all you got to do, he ain't really got to score. He got to do is set the team up and run the team, and he could do that. He was 6'6". He from Jersey. He had a little swag with him. And you and I know that I ain't gonna talk down his game because his game speak for himself. His record speak. I don't need to say nothing about that. But just the point. You ain't gotta actually be authentic to make it these days.
Exactly.
So like during our day, you had to be authentic. If you wanted the real deal, you wasn't getting a shot. As time went on, there was so much opportunity. There's like so many teams, like the NBA went from from 12 teams to 20, 22 teams. So every team got to fill their roster.
Yep.
And so there was more opportunity. You go overseas, back in our day, it was the NBA, there was CBA, that was it. And you wasn't going overseas if you ain't had no real game. So, Michael Ray Richardson, he went overseas, had a good season, but you wasn't gonna be average like today. You could be a nobody, go overseas and make a lot of money.
Yep.
That wasn't happening. You had to really have some game to play. Guard play was a whole lot different because of hand checking. If you just come up hand, if I put my hand on you, you ain't going nowhere.
Exactly. That's the difference than now and then.
Right, because I put my hand on you, you going where I want you to go.
Exactly.
Now you can't touch nobody. They ride around, they driving all to the basket and shooting the ball, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Wow.
I played against John Bagley, man. He put his hand on me. I couldn't even move, man. I was like, God. I couldn't even move. I was like, man, if you don't take your hand off me, I'm gonna break your hand. But back then they swiped down like boom. We like,
exactly.
Could they put your hand on you? It's like, okay, you can put your hand on me. Boom, I'm gonna break your wrist. put your hand up, I'm gonna break your wrist. You know, because somebody like John Bagley put their hand on you, you can't even move. He's strong as hell.
Whoa.
John Bagley is the strongest person I ever played against. John was so strong, man, like cock strong.
Really?
You sitting there like that motherfucker was like how this motherfucker this strong? I gotta stick this guy for 40 minutes. Wear his ass out, you know. Excuse my French. Somebody said I shouldn't be cussing. I'm cussing. But I'll tell you who I played. People don't realize I played against Kelly, Pace Mannion. He went to NBA. I played against Fats Lieber. I played against Larry Nance.
You played against Larry Nance?
Yep, I played against Larry Nance. Ralph Sampson. Played against Ralph Sampson. Played against UConn. Played against Corny, Chuck Alexis, Mike McKay. You seen all them games.
Oh yeah, I was at them games.
And then,
what about Jim and James Bailey?
Play against Rutgers. Yep. Play against Bailey and Rutgers. Play against Roy Henson.
Roy Henson, okay.
Play against Gary Springer, Jeff Rulin.
Wow. Iona?
Mike Adams at BC. Played against Ernie Carr. Played against Ronnie Perry.
Oh, Ronnie Perry, Holy Cross.
Yep, Ronnie Perry's been back in the day. So yeah, back then, guard play played against. Don't forget, I went through some serious guard play once against Perry Moss at Northeastern.
Wow, Perry Moss.
Went through the Vickers boys at Iona. Iona went against Phil Sellers, Vickers. Went through all the Fordham boys. Went through the 7-footers at Fordham, Tonga, and all that kind of stuff, man. I went through, man, back in the day. We went through hell, man.
Yeah, no kidding. It was just so many talented guys back then.
Yeah, they're like, I'm just saying, that's just the East Coast.
Exactly.
Played, you know, it's crazy, man.
Man, it was
brutal.
That's why I say, man, if you had to bring your A game every night.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, sitting there trying to, I figured one night we played against Northeastern, right? Perry Moss was nice, and then they had another nice guard. We played against, and the coaches I played against: Rick Pitino, Krzyzewski, Calhoun was at Northeastern back then.
Yeah. You didn't play against Reggie?
Who's that?
Reggie Lewis.
No, they played Reggie before Reggie's day, and played at Tom Pender's at Fordham. Played against Digger at Notre Dame.
Wow.
Dave Gavitt was there at Providence. Those were the coaches.
Yeah, man. Damn.
They had defensive schemes that they just scouted you. You coming in there like, okay, you know, you going up to Pitino and you got to go through, you know, the whole you, and they pressing the whole game, full court.
Wow.
And you know, back then, you know, you playing on them dead floors, you dribbling up and the floor is dead.
Dead.
You play in the garden and you play on that wood, you bounce the ball in one spot, the ball don't come back up. You put the ball down, it don't come back up.
Wow.
On the floor, because you know the floor I'm talking about.
Yep.
So back then, now they play on these nice floors and you put the ball down and come back up. Back then, you bounce the ball, bang, bang, bang. You put the ball down on the dead spot. And they know where all the dead spots are. So they
exactly.
The dead spot. So they catch the dead spot. You drill it like, all right, I ain't going to that dead spot no more. I'm going there, bang, bang, bang. I got to do a spin move and get out of there. It's crazy, man. They don't realize that it was different back then. East Coast guard play was serious, man.
Oh, man.
I played against John Battle down in Rutgers. You know,
wow.
You know, it was rough. You know.
Oh, it was.
Shoot. And you just try to get 15 points, 5 assists, something like that. Just be decent and hope Pete the Bishop don't miss a dunk.
Oh.
So let's go on, man. We can talk about basketball all day, man. You know, we go back. So let's talk a little about Black Lives Matter. What do you think about Black Lives Matters? I apologize to folks for cussing, but you know, I got a little excited. This is cable, so we can cuss a little bit.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we think about Black Lives Matters in terms of young folks trying to stop police brutality, and you know, we also have the George Floyd, and it's nice to know that it was multicultural response that everybody agreed that was outrageous. You have some hope for the future of this? What do you think of the movement?
I think it was a great move, man, because we got to be heard.
Yeah.
You know, they get down, you know, more power to them. Yes, we have to get out there. You know, Black lives do matter. Yeah, they say every life matter. Yeah, every life matter. But ours live, because you know, we getting killed at an unbelievable rate by, you know, police and everything, and nothing's done about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have that so-called, you know, code of silence or whatever, you know, it is where, you know, they can get away with anything they want to get away with.
Right.
You know, they just, you know, okay, we can go kill him and say, okay, he threatened our lives. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
And
but
they get away with it.
But do you
If we do that to a police, okay, say that a black person do that to a police, okay, he threatened my life, so I shot him. You think we gonna get off?
No, but do you expect to see some real change? You expect to see some change in police laws, or what do you expect to see in terms of change?
I think it's gonna be some changes, but probably not a lot.
Mhm. Well,
I,
now
I
just
don't.
yeah,
I
so
really don't know. I don't. You know, I gotta wait and see.
because you know now that we go into 2021, I've been thinking about this lately. I haven't heard a lot about Black Lives Matter recently.
Yeah.
I know that going into this, it was it was on TV all the time on CNN. But lately, I haven't seen much at all.
I haven't seen. Yeah, exactly. Because of them other clowns that got the national spotlight.
Exactly.
You know, imagine if there was Black Lives Matters protesters doing what these clowns just did. We would have been shot on the spot.
Oh yeah, that's a definite. You know.
You know, look what happened when they was protesting peacefully, and Trump come out there and they, tear gas them to get out of the way so he can go over there, to that church and turn the Bible upside down.
Right.
And that was a peaceful protest.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the double standards are so obvious. You don't even have.
Oh, of course it's double standard. We wouldn't have got close to that.
Well, so piggybacking on that. So what's your hope for the future? What would you like to see economically? What would you like to see in terms of schools and jobs and that kind of stuff?
You know, I would love to see these schools in the poor districts, get funding so they get equipment and get, better education like these, white private schools and stuff.
Right.
I would love to see that happen.
I hear you, man.
First of all, fund us like you fund, everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a chance to grow too.
So let's go on to another issue here, reparations. Reparations is talking about, the government recognizing that they did wrong, that they held back black people back. You think that we can look for reparations and actually receive some money from the government, and how should that money be spent?
If we ever if they ever gave it to us, and I would love to see that, if we was to ever get it.
Yeah, I always hesitant to bring it up because I don't think it would ever happen.
No, I don't think it ever happened either.
In other countries, it has happened because, like in Canada, he actually had reparations. They gave money back to the Indians, the Canadian Indians, Aboriginal Indians. In Australia, they started to do that. But I don't know if we ever could advance that far in America to actually receive that. And so I'm always hesitant to actually even ask this question because I feel like it's such a pie in the sky kind of stuff, you know. But do you think it's pie in the sky, or you think we can actually make some ground?
It is because, for one, I don't think the whites would allow it.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
You know, and they will say, who does it go to?
No,
You know,
but you
and
know,
stuff. I don't think it'll ever happen.
but you know, do we think that by us not arguing that we got to make these things happen? You think that we actually are being too soft?
Say that again.
You think we're being too soft by not forcing the issue on this kind of subjects? Like you think we should be arguing more forcefully that we need to receive reparations and, or you know, we need to let it go. Should we let it go?
Yeah, no. Bed. No, I think we should still pursue that. Well, I think we are being too soft.
Yeah, but you know, for us, we kind of had our shot.
They owe us something. This is not their damn land. They stole it.
But this is what I gotta say. When you ride around, you can see the disparity. Okay, so well, we kind of had our shot. You know, you and I, we didn't have a bad life. So really, we're talking about this for our kids. You know, it ain't really for you and I. It's for the next generation.
Yeah, exactly.
So what would you like to see for your kids, my kids, and so forth? How would you like to see this thing play out?
I would like to see my grandkids, you know, see them have the same opportunity as anybody else.
Uh-huh.
You know, not like most of us did, back in the day. We get it some I mean, there's a lot of kids back then. How educated you were, you know, you can get that opportunity if you was black. I mean, well, some blacks did, but in some situations, a lot of blacks didn't. If there was someone that was white in that same position,
Yeah.
I would like to see that. Everybody get an opportunity, which who knows if that would ever change. Seems like it's going that way, but hopefully, we're here to to see that change.
But that's the issue we're talking about here is that a lot of people feel that when we talk like this, that we talk like we victims, that somehow we're not being recognized, that you kind of control your own destiny, that we have a reason for being where we are, and so therefore we deserve what we get,
Yeah, exactly. We do, and I hear a lot of people saying that too. We do have our own destiny, but they don't realize sometimes you can have your own destiny, and somebody can interfere with that. Yeah, you can go to college and get this great degree and everything, but if that white person don't want to hire you, then what?
That's right. The system doesn't work for you.
Exactly. It don't work for you all the time. Tom, get out that window and go to bed. It's time for you to go to bed. You ain't staying up all night.
Yeah, I know. So, that's what I'm saying is that, and that's one of the arguments I make in the systems that, a lot of people have the wind at their back because the system works for us. And if you are, just because your skin color, if the system's not working for you, then you gotta do something different. You gotta make it, you gotta innovate or find something that works for you other than the system.
Exactly.
And I don't think you realize that that's one of the points I'm making is that we need to talk about black men more, how black men have made it, rather than talk about Charles Barkley and talking about Shaquille O'Neal, because they had it kind of, to me, they had it easy.
Yeah, of course they did.
You know, we should be talking more about the Larry Haydens and the Joe Dunstons and the Aaron Howards, because you guys have really shown fortitude of courage of what it means to be good men and good black men in terms of staying the course and not, you didn't turn to any craziness, because I mean, to me, you are the collective glue. That's why I'm trying to paint the picture. And so I need to let you know that you've been nominated to the Daniels Foundation Wall of Excellence, and you received that award that you're now on the wall. And
Thank you.
hoping the future I'll be saying, but I mean that sincerely, because I think we're so short-sighted of what really makes us great. What makes us great is not Shaquille O'Neal or Charles Barkley. What makes us great is
Exactly.
like all the Larry Haydens, all the Joe Dunstons, collectively, all the Aaron Howards, all the Bob Lesters. That's what makes the black community. I'm not taking anything away from Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, but we need to change the dialogue, because essentially young black men can only relate to what matters to them. They can't. Not
Yep.
all black men can be a Charles Barkley, can't be a Shaquille O'Neal, because they're special and they got that. But
Exactly.
they could be a Larry Hayden. That's achievable,
Yep.
and that's not a bad place to be.
It's not. It's not.
You know, but if we only focus on that, you only great if you Barkley, if you only great if you Shaquille, and you know all this other
No.
stuff is all the stuff is somehow less. You know, and that's not the. We know lesser than them. They know better
Yeah.
than us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Shaquille, he
That,
made more money than me. He's not better than me.
that. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I
Kawhi might
always
have
say.
more than me, but he's not better than me. I might bust Kawhi.
Exactly. I
You
mean,
know,
who say
that? I
who
know.
say who
Go
say
ahead, I'll let you finish.
they're more important than a homeless person? A homeless person could be more important than them.
Yeah, but I think
Just because they got money and stuff, don't
but we're so warped in our thinking about what matters in terms of our collectiveness, in terms of what makes us a village and what matters to us as essentially what I say our strength. Our strength is not in essentially our outliers. The strength is in our core. Our core is who are the core people to make the black community. I'm not saying that Charles and Camille don't matter. They are a part of the core, but their weight to the core is relatively small, because they don't live in the core. They live this esoteric life that's out there doing things. But you know, I live in these storms. You know,
Yep.
you live in Willamette, and so because of that, you are much more fundamental to that. And in terms of what it means to make it and be substantial to that community, you know, you don't need to be on ABC or New York in terms of that stuff, because collectively it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter. You know, who cares
Don't matter
about,
at all.
and that's what the internet is doing. Who cares what's on ABC? We turn ABC off.
Yep.
We turn it off, because you know they got some stuff on there that doesn't matter to us. And
Hmm.
so, you know, I think that we finally got to get to the point that as we start to advance, we got to get to the mindset that our collective and our strength is in our core.
Exactly.
I hope you agree with that. You know, I don't know if
You
you,
know, I wholeheartedly.
you know,
You know,
so you know, you've been working for a while. You had a very successful career. So what's some of the things that made you successful at the things that you do at your work? What do you think is very, what can we tell young folks about being successful, about working 9 to 5, going to work every day? You've been doing it for a long time. So what makes you successful?
like what you're doing.
Okay.
You got to enjoy, and I've enjoyed what I'm doing. That's why I get up and go to work every day. I truly believe if you don't like what you're doing, you're not going to be successful at it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're not going to be happy, doing it. I'm happy with what I do. And I don't had jobs where I didn't like it and I wasn't happy. Back in the day. But I think it's just being successful, being happy at what you do. And I work in a group home now,
Uh-huh.
and I love it
So talk
because
about that. So how did you get involved with that? Because I know you've been doing that for a while. How did you get involved with work for the group home, and talk about some of the people there and why you like it?
I love it because of I come here because of the clients. They sort of like, if they're happy, I'm happy. I
Right.
come here to try to make them smile and better themselves because they don't have all the necessary tools that we have. And if I can sit down and have them say what makes me happy is say that I started a group home and they said, oh, he can't do this or she can't do that, and I get them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's making me happy because they said that you couldn't do this. But with me working with them and other, people working with them, and they do it, that's satisfaction to me.
Mm-hmm. That's beautifully said. I get that.
That's gratifying. Don't tell nobody what they can't do.
Right.
When they say, yo, you shouldn't get attached to them, how the hell can you not get attached to these people in your hair every day? And there's some that's difficult, but in this field, you should know that. You should know how they are. And
Talk about some of the jobs that young people may not know about. Are there a lot of jobs in that field there?
it's yeah. It's a lot of jobs in this field.
Because
And
that's one thing I don't think that people realize that. I know for me, I kind of stumbled onto my job, but I didn't really study for it to kind of really do it. But there's a
yeah,
lot
you
of
don't
things
have to
out there.
have no degree or nothing for this job.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, I think that a lot of times we don't give people an idea that there's jobs all around us, but if you don't know somebody or talk to somebody, you don't know what people do in terms of actually getting paid for something. And like you said, there's a lot of jobs there, but you probably nobody probably actually told you about that. You probably kind of just stumbled onto it, right?
Yeah, someone had introduced me to this job like this, and I said, oh, okay, all right, I'm gonna try this, and got in it, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of jobs that and for people that are out there that are listening, men, women, anything. If you don't have a job, if you got kids, anything, you would do anything to get to provide for your family. The trucking company is looking for thousands and thousands of people.
Right.
And that's what I tell people. Go drive a truck or something. Get your CDL license. The companies, they pay for you to go to school, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something that you want to do, look up a trucking company.
Right.
There are jobs. I mean, if you don't like driving, do something to
Right.
provide for your family.
Yeah, it's amazing that you just got to have a mindset of you're going to do something. You're going to make it. Failure is not an option.
Exactly. I mean, if I had kids, I would go to McDonald's. If shit, make sure there's food on the table for my kids, I would do something,
Right.
you know, until I find something that's suitable.
Yeah, it's
Now,
interesting that we kind of have these different mindsets of what you're willing to do, but children are a motivator. I know that was a motivator for me to provide for my kids and things like that. So
exactly.
it's interesting. So, well, my friend, we coming up on an hour here, so we'll give you last statement of taking us out here. I want to appreciate you for doing the interview. You helped me out, and we appreciate your support. So, what would you like to tell the folks who are going into 2020? What are some of your hopes and aspirations for the future going forward?
My future going forward, this July, I'm retiring.
You retire.
So that's it for me. But be safe, man. I mean, with everything that's going on, man, it's you can't do too much now.
Ain't that the
I
truth?
just I just hope everybody just just be cautious and be safe going on through this year, because last year was hell. You know,
It
it's
is, but it's hard to tell folks that they don't want to stay in the house. They got the coronavirus and they want to do this and that. But sometimes it's just good to sit your butt down. Wait.
yeah, exactly. That's what you know. I don't care. I go to work, go home. I ain't nothing else out there to do. But other people, they they, they ain't like that. They want to get out and and enjoy themselves and stuff like that. But everybody's different. Everybody's different.
Only reason you're not going anywhere is because I'm not in town.
Yeah, no, exactly. We can't hang out like we used to.
Can't hang out like we used to. Let's keep it clean. We on the record.
Yeah.
You can't hang out like we used to.
Nah, ain't nowhere to go. I mean, go out and eat. I mean, even when I go out and eat, I don't go in the restaurants. I'll take it to go. Go home and just chill. Me and my girl.
Well, that's beautiful. Well, that's a nice way to end it, Larry. I want to thank you for doing the interview, man. I'll send you a copy. Love you, man, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Okay, you will.
All right, bro. Come on down to Florida.
I am.
There you go. Let's do it.
All right.
See you soon.
Yep.
Peace out.
All right.
Yep.